Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about the organizational structure in a business, and I'm going to walk you through some diagrams in a PowerPoint presentation, which I think will help you visualize everything and therefore understand the terms more easier. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about terms such as delegation, span of control, levels of hierarchy, flat and tall organizations, chain of command, authority, responsibility, and empowerment. But instead of bothering you with those terms and their true and exact definitions and what they mean, I'd rather just show you some diagrams and then explain to you how the terms refer to those diagrams, which I think it will make them easier to remember. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about a diagram which shows the responsibility and the authority in hierarchical system. So basically, wait, I'm going to show you a picture right now so you know what I'm talking about. First, I think this graph is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, speaks for itself. But anyways, so it displays a hierarchy in a business with its top, middle, and bottom. Top probably representing some CEOs, then the middle maybe the board of directors and the management, with the bottom being the other employees and workers in that business. So there is an arrow going up with responsibility and authority, which is again pretty simple because it shows that as we go from the bottom to the top, there's more responsibility and authority on the individuals. So the CEOs have much more responsibility and authority than just a worker in the business. And basically, like the top will be responsible for the middle and the bottom, and the top will have authority over the middle and the bottom. So the responsibility refers to who's in charge of who, and the authority refers to also who's in charge of who and who has the right to tell someone what to do. And we see that at the top it's where the responsibility and authority really are. Then the same time, the command, it goes down from the top to the bottom. So the top commands the middle and the bottom, which goes back to the authority on what to do. So the top can command to the middle, which can delegate to the bottom or tell the bottom what to do, or the top can command both to the middle and the bottom on what needs to be done. Okay, so in this slide we see the formal organizations of a business. First, we actually see the departments of a business as there is production, marketing, finance, administration, and development. Second of all, we see the chain of command because we see the various positions of authority, and we see who has control over who has authority over who. So the managing director will have authority over the directors, which will have authority over their workers. And another thing it talks about is the span of control, because we see who the number of people and who is directly accountable to whom. So the workers will be directly accountable to their directors, who will then be directly accountable to their managing director. In this slide, we can see the tall and flat organizations in a business. So the hierarchical structures, they can be described as either tall or flat. As we can see in the first picture, the tall organizations, they have many levels of organizational hierarchy. Therefore, it is more likely that each manager will have a narrower span of control because there are just so many. In contrast, in a flat hierarchy, there are fewer levels in the control, so each manager is more likely to have a wider span of control because there aren't that many. Now this next slide that you'll see talks all about the wide and narrow span of control. Okay, so I already touched on span of control, but the proper definition or the proper term would be that the span of control refers to the number of subordinates that a manager has, or the number of people that are directly accountable to the manager. So in this picture, you can see that there is first of all a picture of a wide span of control. So we see the first figure, which is let's say a CEO, and his two assistants down, which have a span of control of I don't know how many people. So basically the CEO on top and his two assistants, they have a really wide span of people because everybody is directly accountable to the two assistants, therefore to the CEO. However, in the second picture, we see that there is a much narrower span of control because the CEO has two assistants that have four more assistants or people who are accountable to them, and then the work keeps getting delegated and delegated, and therefore all the managers, assistants, CEOs, whoever, have a much narrower span of control because they're only responsible for a few people and only a few people are directly accountable to them. So it's much different than what we see in the first picture where 20 something I think people are accountable to the two secretaries and to the one CEO. Now this shows just a hierarchical structure in a business, and I already talked about this. So basically it comes in a shape of a pyramid, and this, as we can see, is a flat structure, and from the medicine doctor of medicine, I'm not sure what the top is, to the senior manager, middle management, and then the workers, we can see that because there aren't that many levels of organization, all of those levels in the hierarchy will have a wider span of control. So on the one end, it's the people who are the most skilled, which can include the CEO, the chairperson, the board of directors, and then on the other extreme, on the bottom, we see the workers, and on the bottom, on the sole bottom, it's gonna be the most unskilled, maybe new workers in the business. So this is just an example of hierarchical organization structure in a business. So this, as we can see, is a very centralized kind of structure, and in a centralized structure, the vast majority of decision making is performed by a very small group of people. So the decision makers, which are usually the senior managers, they simply hold on to decision making and authority. So they make decisions. So the people in the center make decisions without any communication with between other members and structures of the organization. So it is highly centralized, as only vast minority of the people get to actually make the decisions. Okay, so I believe that this would be actually an opposite to what I talked about a second ago, which was a centralized structure, because here we see all the function departments in a business, the marketing, the sales, the production, the finance, the R&D. We see them all being at the same level, and we see that the decisions being made are not by the vast minority of the people in the middle, the senior management, like it was in the centralized structure. However, it is a circle, it's a flow of so basically the decision making goes through each department and ensures that they all participate in the making and implementing of decisions. So I think this is the most straightforward PowerPoint, the most straightforward slide that we've had since the beginning. It basically talks about collaborative working and the collaborative organization within a business. We can see accounts, sales, marketing, and production here, all intertwined and all working together in order to in order to bring decisions, in order to make decisions and implement those decisions. So it's different than the circular one and different than the centralized one, as here they're all working together in order to make a change, a decision, or something similar. So that brings the PowerPoint to an end, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I've made things at least a little more clear. Bye!